and welcome to A Fistful of Dice. This is going to be an introduction video to a new series that I'm going to be doing called Campaign Crafting. And this series is going to be focused on world building and creating a campaign for Dungeons & Dragons or a similar fantasy tabletop RPG. But the techniques I'm going to be talking about, really you can apply them to any sort of RPG that you're playing, whether it be, typical medieval fantasy, science fiction, if you're doing horror like Call of Cthulhu or something like that. It's pretty, general techniques and advice that I'm going to be giving. So don't feel like you're going to be left out if you're not big into, D&D style games, D&D, Pathfinder, stuff like that. And what this series is basically going to be is I'm going to go through all the different kinds of aspects of campaign creating and world building. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give examples of a world and a campaign that I'm working on currently for a campaign that I'm going to be running over the summer. And so I'm going to be talking kind of generically about the techniques that I'm using, and then I'm going to give the example of how I've applied that in the campaign that I'm building. So I put, a post out on Facebook kind of asking if people would be interested in something like this, and the response was pretty overwhelming, so I'm thinking people will enjoy this series and will hopefully get a lot out of it. And I think it'll be fun to kind of, build a campaign together. And if you are somebody who is looking to do some campaign building, do some world building, and you haven't really done it before, there are lots of great videos already on YouTube to help you through this. If you haven't checked out Kirk over at PhD&D, he has a series called Coffee and Campaign Building, or is it Campaign Building and Coffee? I can't remember. It's one of those things where he does basically live hangouts where he talks about what he's currently working on and then kind of discusses the techniques that he's using. So he, much like I'm going to be doing, he uses real examples of, here's it in practice. I'm not just telling you this, I'm not just pulling this out of my butt. Here is me using this technique to build my campaign and build my world. Somebody else who's doing some world building, campaign building stuff, I just saw Craig over at Casual DM posted a video. I haven't watched it yet, but he's doing some world building stuff too. So it seems like the summertime is kind of like creative time for everybody. Everybody kind of is, maybe starting a new campaign. Summer's kicking off. People have a little bit more free time. They're traveling more. So it's kind of the right time to be doing campaign prep. And I know for me, having the sun out most of the time is huge for creativity for me. So whenever the sun's out, that's when I do most of my writing and my campaign building. So I'm really hoping that this series is going to be helpful, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to get something out of it. I know it's going to be good for me because I'm going to be talking through my process, which I've never really done before. I've never talked it out or really talked about my campaign building process before. I've talked a lot about individual sessions, but this is going to be kind of a new thing for A Fistful of Dice, so I'm hoping it goes well. So each video is going to be included in this playlist. The link is going to be down below to the playlist. I'm hoping to post, a few of these in the near future and maybe keep it up at one a week or one every couple of weeks, and basically just discuss a different aspect of campaign building. So for instance, the first episode is going to be about brainstorming, nailing down the ideas that you want to implement into the campaign. And the second episode is going to be setting the mood, deciding what kind of tone and setting you're going to build for your world and your campaign. So things like that. And we're going to, ramp up to creating NPCs, having a map of the locations, coming up with different locations and factions and different races and what you're going to include in your game, what you're going to exclude from your game. And then we're going to talk about the arc of the campaign, how to decide a beginning, a middle, and an end, and also how to not railroad your players in doing that. And we're also going to talk about preparing individual sessions and things like that. So I'm hoping what this will do is it'll give you a way to build campaigns and build a world without railroading players and without setting everything in stone. Building a foundation and then leaving enough breathing room where you and your players can actively build the world as you're playing, because people think world building stops when the campaign begins, but it's only just begun, and so I'm going to kind of talk about that too. So anyway, guys, enough of my rambling. I'm hoping this series is going to be beneficial to you, so look forward to more videos in the campaign crafting video series. So thanks all, take care, and happy gaming.